Good evening everybody, welcome back to the bird room. Hope you're all enjoying this lovely British weather. It's been bloody scorching hot, up to like 31 degrees here in London. Today's a better day, cooler, more enjoyable I would say. The birds seem to enjoy it a little bit better. First time this year the air conditioning has been on to try and keep the bird room a bit cooler. We all know that obviously the birds can survive certain things, but when it gets too hot, it's, yeah, freaking horrible. Anyway, on to the birds for today. I don't want to sound like I'm being big-headed or anything, but as the title says, we've bred over 200 now here in the bird room. Jamie is having his flurry right now, but the main thing, he's bred one bird out of the 5 that I really like. So if you don't breed any more, that's it. It's about quality, not quantity. But here in the bird room, like I said, we've bred over 200, and I'll be honest with you, it's hard work. It's hard work, and it's took the sting out of the enjoyment due to the fact that I'm having to retire birds early. Some of the birds that I would have ordinarily kept in the 5s I've had to get rid of just to make room for the other birds that we've bred this year. It might sound ironic that when I say we're getting rid of some of the 5s that obviously it's early, we don't know what the young ones are going to turn out like, but be all and end all is, what's the point in breeding your birds, especially the type of numbers, and I'll explain a little bit later how we've achieved it. But if you've got a shed full of young ones and you've got nowhere to put them and you're overcrowding them, what are you going to do? They're going to end up dying anyway. You will lose some along the way going through the molt and stuff, but when you put in bags of them in the cage together, the inevitable happens, they pull each other to bits, you're going to lose some. And imagine you're getting coccidiosis in there, it will spread throughout the birds that's in that vicinity, you'll end up losing them all. So the plan this year is to put, I mean in some of the cages over here, I've got nest mates together, same in the other cages, but in the ones that have been molted out in the other shed, as I'm starting to take them out, as you can see here, they are in 2s now. And you can get a better view of them that way. There's some young ones this year that we've bred that I'm really happy with. And moving forward, we're trying to achieve that style for the show bench if we're going to show them. And we're obviously always trying to improve on the line that we've got. So obviously keeping too many adult birds in our stud is not going to help us push forward, in my opinion. Right, so let me give you a quick rundown of what's been happening in the bird room. The cinnamons have pretty much done exactly what they needed to do, although now cage 1, she had her first round away successfully. She had a couple in the second round and she had a third round, but she only had one full in that one, so I put a 5 in there and I put a Greenfinch in there. And for some reason this round she's not, well, it's not for some reason, I know exactly what it is. Now she's come off the boil. She doesn't want to feed, she doesn't want to do anything. I don't want to overdo her, but at the end of the day I needed somewhere to put them chicks, and she had one that was in there that was due out. I thought it wouldn't make any difference, but it has. She's come off the boil, and that's just because she started to molt now, and it is what it is. That's what happens. Birds will inevitably at some point throughout the year drop into a molt, and they will stop feeding, and the cocks will become where they're not going to fill eggs anyway. Although the cock itself, this particular cock has not really done that well over the stud. He's one that I've tried to use along the way, but I've gone back to the original ones, which I have done really well throughout this year. But as I've explained before, I want some diversity in the line moving forward. The one in cage 2 is a new pairing from Jamie, and he had him at his I got clear eggs out of them. I bought them here, full eggs. In fact, they're due over the next couple of days, so they've not even had a round yet. That's their first, technically the first round, but even still, I'm looking now to close the breeding season down here in the bird room. And once my mind's set on it, it's set on it. But like I said, you'll see more. The other parts down here are my muling pairs. Been very successful this year. We've got Greenfinch mules, we've got linnet mules, we've got some nice linnet mules being molted in the other shed, colouring up nicely as it goes. But I'm not winning there today. The molting shed is a molting shed, and it doesn't do my asthma any good whatsoever. The red poles have done pretty much exactly what they should. Same again. The lesser red poles have done absolute bugger all, except for one pair. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but 5 full eggs, they hatched, 2 hatched, straight on the floor, bit them feet off. Took the other eggs away. They're actually under a 5 now, because the cockbird's a really good cockbird. Actually came in from Adam Kendall, and I know Adam's not known for his British birds, but Kevy's dad used to be. That's all he used to breed years and years ago. And I'll tell you something, they've got some outstanding red poles, and exactly what I needed to add into our line. But like I said, anyway, the hen chucked the chicks out, bit and feet. First time it's happened this year, as it goes. Took the remaining eggs away from her, put them under a 5. 2 hatched out of the 3 that was remaining. 2's in there now, doing really well. The 5's, I'm saying feeding them, but not as good as I'd like to. But like I said, it is towards that time of year, so if they survive, they survive. The mealies, unfortunately, cage number 12, we lost the hen bird from in there. And cage 13, the cockbird that was in there was so aggressive, that's why he was never in there throughout the duration of her sitting the eggs. Trying to drive her off the eggs all the time. I took him out and I used to just introduce him again when I needed to. But due to the fact that cage number 12, we lost the hen bird in there and the cockbird in there. The cockbird in cage number 12 is a phenomenal feeder. When we lost the hen bird, he carried on feeding the young birds that was in there and weaned them off perfectly. So I thought, well, put them two together. It's another bit of diversity in the line moving forward. I've only reintroduced them today. They seem to be getting on totally fine. So if I can sneak around out of them, I will do. If not, nothing lost again. Quickly, I'm just going to talk hybrids. And due to the fact that I split them up, I didn't split them up. I moved them to the other bird room pretty early. Just like I said in a previous episode, I've done that actually to free up space in this bird room. This is my main bird room that is controlled by, like I said, air conditioning, better lighting system in here, and this is where I spend most of the time. The other bird room in there is just basically for molting the birds. And when I moved them in there, all the young 5s are in there, and this is something I stick by, and I've said it for a few years. The young 5s are molting as it is, and I really think that when you've got birds molting in one bird room, it can trigger, because the lighting hours, daylight hours, the diet's exactly the same. I genuinely believe that birds molting trigger other birds to molt in the same vicinity. This is why I like to keep all the molting birds usually in as one, and the Chaffee hybrid pairs just molted, went into a molt really early, same as the British Greeny Bully pair. The hen molted, she's well into the molt. She's probably been in the molt over a month now. And the normal Chaffinch pairs, they're bloody same again. It's something that I haven't really featured much on the bird room videos, because I wanted to leave them alone. While we're talking about the other chaffinches, we did mention in the last episode that we did have young chaffinch from one of the pairs as well. I mean, that chaffinch is back on eggs, believe it or not, but I'm not holding much hope. that particular pair had chicks fledged successfully, but for some reason, as soon as they fledged, she wanted to go back to nest again and just stopped feeding the young ones. Not for the lack of trying with the amount of live food and everything I put in there, but she just come away and didn't want to know. It is what it is. Same again, we'll go again next year with them. I'm not that bothered. Sometimes you think to yourself, things happen for a reason, and if you imagine all the young ones, if we would have bred all the young ones off the pairings, where the bloody hell am I going to put them all? We're full up as it is. So no hybrids this year. We'll go again. Never stop trying, and there will be more next year, because again we are going to cut back once again with the 5 canaries next year, and definitely going to go down the route of more of the hybrid pairs. Quickly run you through the Greenfinches now, and the Greenfinches have been quite a success this year. We've got a few on the sticks. I've lost 2 halfway through the molt. It does happen. They are on baycocks. There's nothing else I can do to try and prevent losing them through the molt. That's birds again, and if you do everything in your power to help them through that molt, less stress. And what I'm going to do today, they're all in a flight in the other shed. I'm actually going to split them up into 2s again, because if they're all together in one place, it can the coccidiosis can be triggered, stress through them, and you can lose them that way. No matter what you do with your baycocks, once they've reached that point, you're not going to bring them back. So they're molting out nicely. I've actually got a couple over here, and they're doing good as well. The ones in the flights, we've got 4 pairs on eggs now. That'll be it, hopefully. Never say never with them buggers. The one in flight number 4, which we had the Greenfinches all together with the one cockbird, very successful in there. In fact, I'm going to take them out today. There's 12 young ones in there that have reared away. In fact, I think there's 2 young ones that left the nest a couple of days ago. Again, doing really good. The cockbird does a brilliant job. He feeds as well as the hens, and it's been a real success this year. So moving forward next year, it might be something I do with the other birds, with the other Greenfinch in the flights, is do trios with them instead of a pair per flight. Maybe do trios per flight, might make it that bit more space. I'd be able to keep more birds in one place rather than just a pair each flight. Might work, might not, but it has worked this year. You never know, we could always try. So why do I think we've had such a successful year in the bird room? I can put it down to a few factors. Exalt being a major factor. In fact, to a point where I've not seen a single mite in this bird room. And I'll be honest with you, I've had mite over the years, as everybody. And anyone who says to me and then says to your friends, never had mite, utter rubbish. I've had it on and off, not in major outbreaks. Like I remember 20 years ago, behind one of the nests, I had a nest of linnet mules actually. This one I used to use the original nest on the back of the cages, and I took it out. Some linnet mules were starting, and I lifted it off, and there was bloody red mite everywhere. Nothing worse, and that's the only time I've really had a bad outbreak. But since I've using Exalt, since from this time last year, not a speck of mite, and it really is that good, and it really works. So anyone who is struggling with red mite, northern mite, we've got some. I can get you some, and it's worth every single penny of what it is. Just following the instructions. Use it originally your first 2 days, a week later, then every 6 weeks. I know it says on the bottle every 6 to 8 weeks, but if you keep it to every 6 weeks, you can have no issues with mite or any cycle in between that with the mite, and you'll have a success like we have. I think also, and I've said this, and I'm not gonna sounds like I'm going to try and rub it in people's faces, but if you get your conditioning right, gradually condition the birds like we do, from Christmas onwards, your birds will come into condition. They'll have that second round again also. So what happens is, if you condition them in a quick period, you're going to get that condition throughout the first round. If you condition them like that, the second round is going to be not as successful. Believe me, I've done it myself. A quick condition period, bang the lights on, get the lights up to the 14 hours as you do. In fact, mine are probably on 15 hours because I'm following the daylight. But anyway, if you condition them too quick, the second round is not going to be as viable as what it would be if you condition them slowly. Condition them slowly, bring them together slowly, the light slowly. Your second round would be as successful as what your first round would be. That's what I found over the years. We all make mistakes, and hopefully the birds will do the rest. But like I said, it's not me having a dig of anything, because I know some people have had a really poor season, and if your birds are not performing and you've done everything in your powers, what else can you do? You can do nothing else. You can only do what your birds will let you do. So as the title says, we've bred over 200, and that being not with just the fives. And I've heard it, some of my friends even say to me, yeah, the feeders, they're so easy to breed. But yeah, try and be the quality one that's going to win you shows, win you the specials. Try and breed 200 like that and tell me it's easy. But it's not made up of just the fives anyway. If I'll probably truth be known, we're probably 230 by the time we've got the Greenfinches. All being well, looking at the numbers which I'm expecting out of the flights and the ones we've got away, we should eat 40. The English cinnamon's 25, I'm reckoning. We've got some away now. Same with the mules. I would say another 20 there. Red poles, 15, 20. Probably more than that. I'm not even counting them. I couldn't really say. So if I put all the numbers together, it's going to be way over 200, and that's plenty enough. And it's a thing that I was talking to Matt Eld of the Canary room about. It comes a point where you come in and everything's repetitive, whether it be changing egg foods, changing nest pans, and when you've hit them type of numbers, you don't want it, you still want to enjoy it, but you don't want it to become a job. And that's what's happened over these last few weeks. The energy levels have gone, and what might have took me sometimes half an hour to feed the birds is going to take me an hour plus. Checking round, like I said, first thing in the morning. We've done it for 3 or 4 months now. First thing in the morning, last thing in the evening. It does tie you down to a lot of things. And one thing when I've set my mind to something, like I've been splitting the birds up all these last couple of days, my mind's set, and with the birds now, there's no second chance. If they come off the eggs, I'll transfer them eggs to someone else. You're out of there in a flight cage, clean that cage down, put some young'uns in there, because my mind's already set. Anyway, that's going to be it today, because was only meant to be literally a 5-minute episode just to explain what's been happening here in the bird room, but it seems to always last a little bit longer than it should do. I'll hopefully be back next week, depending on what time I've got, because like I said, in between doing my job, which is a landscaper by trade, busiest time of year, and direct bird products, and something else which I'm going to explain shortly, we are busy. Just before I go, one last thing, bit of important news. Me and Jamie acquired the Birdkeep Association, the Bird BKA, as people will know it as. We've got our first sale there this coming Sunday. I'll try and put the link in the description for that. We have fully sold out of all the tables. We've got such a lot of birds coming in, from foreign finches, exotic type birds, to British finches, to canaries. There's a real variety. Jackie Smitherson of Essex Bird Centre will be there doing a brilliant spread of seed and accessories. So if you're available Sunday morning, and that is Thurrock near Dartford Tunnel, pop down and have a look. It's only £3 to enter. Get yourself a free cup of tea as you come in, speak to other bird keepers alike, and have a good morning. Maybe pick up something you didn't expect. But remember this, it's not just a bird sale. The bird sale itself is to fund an annual show that we are putting on in December. And all the proceeds from this sale, by the time we've paid everything out for the haul and stuff, will go to funding this annual show. We're going to try and make it as big as possible and grow it throughout the years. Like I said, check it out. I think there's one table left, maybe 2 tables left. I know it's a bit of a rush, but if you're looking to sell your birds in this area, send me or Jamie a message and we can hopefully get you booked in before they all completely sell out. Right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you do like what you've watched, make sure to hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all with the little rugrats that's just come in the next episode.